see, just checking my audio real quick. Let's see, just checking my audio real quick. Okay, so the goal for today on stream is I have a little like thoughts journal type thing where I keep notes based on foam or Chrome, whatever system you want to call it. And I want to be able to quickly create these notes from Alfred, like invoke it with keyboard shortcut, type a name into Alfred, and have it generate that file using a template. So I don't have any of that stuff set up yet, and I've done various pieces of all those workflows before, but this should be a first. I think I know how it'll all fit together. The first thing for me is that I think this directory, it's in project thoughts. And so I've been using JavaScript to write node scripts I can invoke from the terminal. So I'm going to just copy and paste one of these. We'll call this we'll call it new note. I already have one that does like a new daily thought just from a keyboard shortcut. So in here, let me change the language to JavaScript. In here, I have an executable, which I call JS, which will allow me to run all of this and output this to, like this is the format for outputting to Alfred, where you have an array of objects with titles and subtitles and args and variables. So I'm going to leave this stuff in there for now, because I imagine what I can do is, like maybe I want to open an existing note or thought, and I could do like a search, like find all the files in there and present them inside of Alfred as something I could select rather than create a new one. But let's just, for now, comment that out and just work on just creating a new file. I think in my globals I set up a write file, and that's off of fs promises. So let's go back here. So I think like I can just do write file, and let's see. Node write file. The syntax for write file is, that didn't open the right page. I think it's file name then content. Can't remember. I get those switched around every time. Whether it's file name first and then, okay, so it's file name then content. So we can do, can I use my home directory? If I say thoughts, it's project thoughts. And we'll just call this test note md and write some content. So now if I run new note, let's see if that gives me. Oh, I have Alfred set to use Node version 14, but by default I use 12 for some of the projects I'm working on. So let me just clear that out, and we'll try that again. No such file or directory. Guess I have to. I'll start with this. Users and John Lindquist. All right. so test note should be down here somewhere. All right, so that's mostly working. What I want to do is extract this and add in the $1. So I have in my globals, let me go back to my globals. I have a global of $1 set to the args. So I can just grab that in there and drop it in based on the, don't have to, I can't think of any other arguments I'd want to put in other than just like the name of the file and have that be the header of the file, but this could definitely evolve over time. So if I try new note, test note again. All right, so now we got this file created. Perfect. And now with that set up, let's set up like a template. So the template can be, we're using Markdown. So a hash of, let's do the same $1. I guess we could title case that. Should I title case that in here? I don't think I have that in globals. I have a global script which will title case something. I could do that in Alfred as well. We'll just leave it lowercase for now because I imagine I want to type all my file names lowercase and then the header would be uppercase. And let me trim this as well. So instead of content, this is now template. And let's try, let's remove these. So try that again. So now test note again. Let's see, I guess I could add, I'll do it as a string, and then add dashes. Yeah, that'll work. I think I have title case installed. Might as well bring that in as a global. So globals here. Just going to add that to the bottom. I can see myself using this across projects. So, I think I also have a dash case installed in my package JSON. Do I? Title case, dash case. I know it's just replacing spaces with dashes. So maybe I'll just do that in line. Yeah, I'll just do that in line. New note. So this is title case this. And now if I type in a string here, let's try this. Okay, so that didn't dash case, but it uppercase properly. So this one can be replace any empty string with the dash. Since this is something that's just for me, like I write a lot of code just for me, I don't see why I have to worry too much about edge cases on this. Test note again. Oh, I have to do the, what's the global syntax? I guess replace all. Oops. Replace all is not a function. Thought it was. So it should be this one. Cool. So this just got created. Should I add a date to this template? I think that makes sense. I mean, I don't have any front matter on the other ones. But let's, yeah, we can do new date. Let's see. So we'll drop in, can't remember what all the to date string. I don't know what format I'd want the date in. That's fine for now. Alrighty. So what I can do here is I can trigger this with, like I like to think of Alfred as like a global input box where you can trigger it, take its input, and then pass it to a script. That's something I do a lot for a lot of my shortcuts and everything I work on. So what that, right now it's not going to require any output because, let me open up my Alfred workflows. I think we'll call this one, let's call it new note for now. I might be able to make this more generic. Like I have other Alfred scripts where I pass in a script name and it runs that script name, but for now I'm just going to leave this at new note. And this is going to trigger, so this will take keyword. So name of, well, I see myself eventually using the script filter in case I want to pick an existing note. So let me start with that. So inputs, script filter. This won't require a keyword. We're going to trigger this with a keyboard shortcut. So for right now, I use identifier. We'll call it new note. Can you do spaces? I guess you could. So the way I hook this into things is I can grab this Apple script, go into my where to find my carabiner scripts, and see a few of them here. Like this is the most default one of tell application Alfred 4 to run trigger S in workflow S with argument S. So like back in Alfred, like that fires off this, and you can see run new note in workflow, the identifier, and with argument test. So, I'm going to copy this. I'm going to put this right here for now. And this is essentially that OSA script E dash E, and then this stuff, and I have to escape. Is there a way to like only does this work? 414. All right, that should be good. So I'm not going to need an argument, but I'm going to leave that there just in case I end up thinking I might need one. So now I can bind, I was thinking of creating like a create mode. This might be new to a lot of people. I use a lot of keyboard shortcuts where I hit like a character key like C, and this one will be CN for create note. That's what I kind of planned in my head before time. So I look at something like print mode. I can duplicate this and have like a create mode where when I type C, which is also C in Colmac, hold down C and then press N, then it'll trigger this Alfred box. So essentially duplicating everything else in this file. So when I'm in create mode, then I can, when I hit N, then I want it to trigger a new note. So invalid2 in main section create. Did that not get set? Create mode. Create mode. So if I type, hold down C and type N, it should type H, which it did. And this should trigger, oh, I need to put in that syntax. There you go. Now this should pop open the box with test. Perfect. So yeah, the argument can be an empty string for now. Whoops. So cn, an empty box, and then if I configure this workflow properly, the thing I type, I'm going to use ZSH here, is going to be the query. So I want to, when I set this up, source my JS RC file. And to show you that real quick, actually, let's go in here. JSRC. Just looks like this, where it's setting a node version, a node path, and a path to where I'm running my JS scripts. So that's what that's doing, if you're familiar with that. If not, just the idea that this is adding the ability to invoke node and the ability to have those environment variables accessible to my script below, because my script below called new note requires access to those to node and to my environment variables there, the path variables for sure. So I think it should just be query inside of quotes. So if I try that, and try test from Alfred. Oh wait, I was using spaces, not dashes. Alfred. Yeah, I'm thinking this is going to have to return, because it's a script filter, it's going to have to return an option to select. So what I'm going to do here is my items for now are going to be an array, or the, whoops, where the title is, let's do, probably the dash case version. We'll do, make it look like this. MD, and we'll surround all this with quotes. Well, actually, we need to put and let's see, replace title items. All right, where am I missing on my? There and there, and that's not lining up. Let's pull this out. Oh, that's why. I forgot the key. Alrighty, so we can so let's do that plus MD. We don't need to do a template there. Just so I can tell what it looks like. Meaning that if I invoke it now and say test note from Alfred. Actually, let me debug this to see where that's fallen apart. All right. Query is not defined. Oh, is this $1? Reference area. Oh, new node is not defined in here. Oh, that's why. I was trying to add some variables to it, which I don't need right now. So here we go. Test new note. And then when you hit select, it selects the let's see. Hey, Alfred is if you just Alfred is a Mac app, and it's just kind of like a global pop-up window for launching apps and for writing scripts and stuff. You could do this in Keyboard Maestro or other applications. Anything that allows you to globally pop up an input would work just fine. You could write your own in whatever way you'd want to do it. I like Alfred. I think it's very polished, so I use that for everything. All right, so let's see. Yeah, right now this is... I was thinking too far ahead. I'm going to disconnect this because this one is expecting a selection, and then after I made the selection, it would invoke my new note script. So these are kind of two separate scripts. So let's see. So I'll need like a list notes script. So let me copy this one. List notes. Because every time I typed, that was actually creating a new file in there. And that is not what I wanted. So I'm sure if I looked at, let's see. Yeah, you can see every time I was typing test new note, it was creating these files. So let me get rid of these. Because when it was invoking this entire script each time. Whereas what I really wanted is to just invoke a script to start off with that gives me the name of the file, but then I can also list the files in the directory. So for now, all I need is this, I think. Items in the future can be all of these files in the directory. So we'll use list notes, and then new note won't have an out. Yeah, new note will only write the file. So we don't need any of this in new note. It can be a simple format template and write it to a file sort of script. And this is, if I can extract this into an argument, then I can reuse this for other things. Because right now the only thing, well, I would have to extract the template as well, maybe. I'm just going to keep that in mind, that I could make this reusable, not just for notes, but for other like file creation things. Yeah, for right now, let's hook together in here this and the selection of this will be to run a script. And this will be the same source my src, and then run new note with the argument that comes through. So whatever I pick from the script filter will pass through to here and pass this argument to my new note, which we created. So we have those steps of the keyboard shortcut that launches it, the script filter that lets me pick. Right now, it's not going to list any files. It's just going to show me what I'm typing in, and then once I select one, it should pass it along. So this one should be list file or list notes. What did I call it? Yeah, list notes. Alright, save here. And now if I test from Alfred, so when I hit enter, it should pick this. But I already know ahead of time that picking that means I need to set the, not just the title, but the arg. Meaning the arg is, like the title's just like for display, but I also want the arg of, when I select it, it passes that along to be the same thing. So I'm going to extract this to file name, just so it's more obvious that these share. File name. These share the same thing. Alrighty, and then now since that arg is set, should be able to test from Alfred. Hit enter, and there we go. Test from Alfred worked. It did. Oh, it did pass along. That's right. Passed along like a combination of dash and title case. So list notes. The arg shouldn't be the file name. It should be just the straight up kind of untouched query, so that when it gets passed along, it doesn't have those dashes in it. So let me try that again. Test from Alfred. Oh, I guess I have to let that complete. I wonder if that can keep up with me better. So test from Alfred now has .md.md. Alrighty. So this is the empty, or just a string. So this should still be fine. Test from Alfred. There we go. All right, and it properly title cased. The date's there. Perfect. All right. Now the other thing I wanted to do is to focus on that file after this is done. So I think I'm going to have to create an Apple script which gets invoked after the file is written. So that would mean well, I guess I could just open should be enough. Because I think I can just exec from new note. I can exec and open this project. Actually, let me make sure I have the syntax right here. This is something I've done before. Call it code project, if I'm not mistaken. So it's tell application code to activate. All right, so open this, and those are the flags. And let's go back here. So open this. And this would be the directory. That sounds right. Let's just set that up here. So open dir and focus on this will be file name here. Oh, and we'll have to, yeah, let's do that. Take all of this out. Call this file name. File name be. I have to remove that, and then this is going to be. Oops. MD. It can look like that. I'm just appending.md to a file name with dashes in it. And go ahead and drop file name in there. I think that looks good to me. Let's see if that works. Another Alfred test. Let's test Alfred again. Hit enter. Okay, so that did not focus on this, nor did it. Let's try. New note. Oh. Let's comment this out for now. That's the dir, and the file name can be test Alfred again.md. if we get an error here. Yep. Cannot read property char at undefined. So it's title casing. Oh, well, let's comment out the template as well then. Don't need that for now. Oh, so that's the wrong command failed. Oh, do I have to pass the entire path to that? Like so? Let's clear that out. There we go. That popped it open. Okay, so I guess I have to pass the absolute path when you're opening something. So we can bring these back. And I can get rid of this. That looks solid. So let's try test, oops, open Alfred, or test open code. Boom, great. So now wherever I am on my machine, like if I'm over here and I pop open a new note, I could do something like testing this live, hit enter, let's switch open my new note in code, ready to edit, which is awesome. Okay, the other thing is I wanted to list the files in this directory in case I have something I already want to pick. Honestly don't know node list files in directory. I think it's just what's that dir command? Yeah, read dir. And then I think it's just file names in read dir. Also shows directory names. Okay. So I'm going to add that to my global, whoops, global index. Does this have read dir? I guess so. So now we can go back to our new note. Oh, actually, list files is, or list notes. We're going to want to append an array. So let's just, we'll call this notes. And all we have to do here, I think, is notes is await reader. Is that what I named it? Oh yeah, I didn't add it to. Reader, and then back in list notes, we're reading the dir. We'll hard code it for now. Users, John Lindquist, oops. Projects, thoughts. And that should be an array of file names. And so we'll want to map that file name, map this to an object where the title is the file name and the arg is the file name. Let's see if that works. Testing. Okay. Sweet. Is that going to filter? What's the file I have in there? Tim. No, that's not filtering. Oh yeah. So I need to filter this. So filter the file name based on whether file name contains. I always forget if it's contains or includes. I always do this. Hello contains. Oh, it's includes, isn't it? Yep. All right, so it's includes. So if this includes, probably could probably do matches. Let me try includes first. $1. Let's try that. And so perfect. So my first selection is a new one. The second one is this. But this would still pass along the name, which would create a new file. So I also want it to not create a new file if I select that one. So let's see. I could pass along the variables in Alfred. I've never done this before, like based on a condition on your selection, do this on with this selection or that with different selections. So since the arg is the thing coming through and both of them would be a file name right now, I could just add like a special string at the beginning, say if it starts with that string. I wonder if I can pass an arg as an object. Never tried that before. Let's see. File name and whoops, create false. So let's create a new file. We'll call it ZZZ, which works. Now let's try and open that file instead of creating it. Let me debug in here. I type Z and select this one. All right. So it did pass an object of some sort along. Create 0 file name. Interesting. Let me add a little debugger thingy you can drop in between. Let's clear that. Select Z. And passing output. So create and file name. Do I want it to be a flag? Do I want it to be a flagged new note, or do I want it to be a completely different script? I think I want it to be a completely different script because it's just open. Yeah, that makes more sense. I can split here actually. That might be easiest. Utilities. Junction. Is there a condition here? No. The conditional. If var create is equal to false. We'll do true. Do that. Else. It's my little debugger. All right, so arg title arg was 1. Okay. So this can be title $1 and arg. Oh, whoops. File name and create true. I like that. Let's try Z. Okay. So I think it did get here, which means that I could just run open. And actually, let's just do easiest solution right now is just going to be copy and paste to an open note. This is something I could do in Alfred or anything anywhere. But I'm just going to delete write file, delete this. And I can, if I have other scenarios for this, I'll come back and revisit the hard-coded path, whether I want that to be like an environment variable, or how I want to approach that. But for now, I think I can copy and paste this. Instead of new note 1, I want to open note 1. So if I type in Z, command not found. Oh yeah, file name, I think. Did that not work? Cannot read replace undefined open note. Open note file name. So this was undefined. It said once it got there, let me scooch these over, break this connection, add in the debug, make sure that file name is coming through, clear this out, and open this. Passing output object. Maybe it doesn't, maybe you have to like format the data there. Let's try and list notes. Let's see what. I can just pass variables file name. And then we'll try this again. Okay, so that's like a string. And now file name is Z. Oh yeah, because I only typed a Z. It didn't accept my selection. All right, this is kind of uncharted territory for me. Is trying to pass a JavaScript object along with a flag in it based on a selection. So that's where I'm a little bit hung up. Let me try Alfred app pass object script filter arg probably. I can pass a JSON object along. Actually, that's probably what I should do now that I'm using my brain. So the arg can be, but then can my Alfred script read we'll find out. Stringify. Alrighty, and just let the debugger run here. I just don't know if once it comes here, if it's going to detect create as a var or not. We'll see. Z. So it did go this way. Let's try Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's gonna have to find something on. Is there a formatter? Let's see. I mean, I could just do it as like a comma delimited list or something. Utilities, split arg to vars. That might be what I need. A name for all the, okay. Let's do that. Wait, why is that going multiple directions? Let's break all of these. Because I think if I do this, and then my args are now just I'll do file name, and it's going to split on commas. 1. And we'll do that same thing down here. Oops. So the file name and true, file name and false. So let's debug that. Not sure how much I like this, but so yeah, split 1 is the file name, split 2 is 0. Okay, so let's create our junction. Oops, conditional. If split 2 is equal to 1, then go, well, let's, I have these names, file name. Let's do one of these arg bars. Let's call this file name is, I think I have to do it like this, var split 1, and create a new one, create split 2. Let's debug that. Utilities, debug, save, clear, make sure our, all right. So we have file name and we have create. So I think before this was considered a string when I was trying to pass an object. I'm actually curious. I'd rather not write strings like this. So delete that and that. Actually, let me put this back. Let me make sure large type. Sure, query. Actually, I just want to make sure the conditional is working. That's what I was doing. Var create is equal to 1. Let's do a string of true. I prefer that. Then outputs large type. Creating our file name. And this can be opening bar file name. That's opening, and it's also opening. Oh, I need to pass in true and false. So opening and also opening. Why was that true? Why was split 2 true on that one? Oh yeah, this should be creating. Did I change this? Oh. Yeah, create is equal true. And it should be false. So this if else isn't working right. If var create is equal to true. Let's try that. Creating, opening. Okay, so that is working. Now I want to see if I can do this as an object instead of this string format. Create true. And this is create false. So this would be create true. I wonder if my argvars thing can parse this somehow. Oh yeah, let me try JSON. And oops. Stringify. And creating, nope, opening. File name C. All right, so interesting. Let me see. Is it this? Because we're not doing split anymore. No, sorry, it's this one that we're not doing anymore. Oops. I don't think we need that. Well, if this works, we don't even need that one anymore, which is what I'm hoping. Doubting, but hoping. This should be opening. Opening, both are opening. So that comes through as a string. Let me try Alfred, arg JSON. What does this do? Missing a JSON config. Occurrences of a query will be substituted with the input, and query will be substituted with query. So string variables using var name. So I can connect stuff to this. And then what's coming through is variables here. Will that format that? I'll find out. File name CCCC. Debug. String. That's the query, and then an object. But it seems like we lost the create variable from here. Let's try that, where it's only variables. So this should be create a new file. But where's my create variable? Maybe I'm doing this incorrectly. JSON can be used with dynamic placeholders. Oh yeah. I don't need to use any of those right now. I just don't know why. Like it says it's passing through this to the output. So I'd expect file name and create to make it into the variables right here. But only file name is making it in. Actually, maybe this just isn't working at all. I bet that's the case. Yeah. Arg. Is there something I can set on there? Icon. Alfred variable. Alfred arg. JSON object, maybe. Yeah, I may just have to do this. All right. So revert all the way back to this. One means create file. 0 means open file. Oops. And then get rid of that. Start connecting these up. We'll split on this. We'll have a file name as split 1 and create as split 2. And now that should work again. So this should create. Oh, dang it. Create as 1. Where's the junction? Let's do this. Create. Open. That makes more sense. If our, call this action, oops, action is equal to create. So we'll rename this to action. All right, that makes more sense to me. We'll try that. So this should creating, and this should opening. So that looks good here. So new note and open note. All right, and let's create a new note from the file name. Open an existing note from the file name. And this all looks fine. So like a formatter, probably not. Make this nice and straight. Dunk, dunk, dunk. Alright, so now when I run like this, should create a new note. Oh, it appended a MD. So list notes. Oh, arg is going to be $1. And then okay, that worked. And then what does this say? Does not exist. Oh, that's appending the so this is $1 as well. So this should open the existing note. Nope. Z.md does not exist. All right, so those both work, but there's also the scenario of like if the file already exists and I type out the entire thing, this would be the create and overwrite, and this would be open. So I want to get rid of the create and overwrite option. So let's do one of those notes includes notes includes, wow, I don't want the entire, yeah, I guess it would just be the query. If it does, then what's that optional? I can't remember. Is it this? There's some sort of JavaScript thing. JS conditionally include an array ternary. There it is. So it looks like this. All right, so wrap that in parens. Oops. Parens. Then spread. Because then if I type z, oops. Object is not iterable. I have to do this. Z, Z, Z. Oh yeah. Plus MD. I guess that'll work. It seems kind of clumsy, but I can always come back and fix it. Because this should open the file. So if I edit this, and then I try and type it out. Okay. And then if I create a new file, and then, okay, this is me selecting it. This is me selecting it after typing it all the way out. Okay, I think that's working. Alrighty, so in summary, let's see what we did today. In summary, created I can invoke a keyboard shortcut in my create mode. When I hold down C and press N, it pops open this window. I can type something amazing, or no dashes, something amazing, hit enter, and then it'll pop open code, add it to focus, and create that file. Actually, let's even close this so that if I do it from here, another amazing thing, hit enter, open code, and focus on that file. Perfect. Last thing I want to do is find some sort of note icon for this. So images, note icon. What do I like? What do I like? This one? This one? Save. No. Is that working for me? I feel like it's not grabbing the transparency. I can still see. Still see that background a little bit. But am I going to be picky about that? I don't know. Let's say yes. Let's do this one. The most basic. I like simple. Come here. Oops. Come here. I think that looks good. Some my awesome note. Perfect. That's the only reason that's not focusing is because I have the debugging thing open in front of me. So leave this. Let's add this here too. Save there, and I can be done with that for today. Alrighty. Hopefully that gave you an overview of finding keyboard shortcuts to scripts and generating files in Alfred. Sweet.